I went on a small Fans Toys run a while back, picking up their versions of Mindwipe and Skullcruncher, and was so impressed by them I took the plunge on old Hannibal here. Now, I know 3 toys isn't much of a run, but at Fans Toys prices, that's about all I could manage. So this design is based on the character of Fortress from the Headmaster's cartoon, which aired in... You know what, if you want a history lesson, check out the Basics playlist on Japanese Transformers. It's very good and linked in the description. Alright. I've always had a soft spot for the Headmasters series, not because it's any good, more that I first saw it as an extra on the end of a VHS copy of the Transformers the movie in 2001. I had very little knowledge of how the series split off in Japan, and it was just a bit of a doorway to another world, a world that I already liked and was inhabited by familiar characters but viewed through a different lens. And I ended up picking up the Headmasters and Master Force and Victory box sets, and while they're not exactly incredible viewing experiences, they're very entertaining. In fact, no, well wait, the Headmasters gets quite boring, and Victory does kinda too. Well look, Master Force is good. Look, most of Master Force is good, but there's something about Fortress here that I've always liked. He lacks the personality of the other Autobot Headmasters, he kind of lacks any personality really. He's a big grey brick of a boy, the archetype leader, and he comes across as so incredibly dull, I can't help but love him. You know, I did slap an Autobot symbol on his chest. If you'd like to see what he looks like without it, use your imagination. Fans Toys stuff is always so slick and smooth, and this lad really does exemplify that. A huge range of posing potential, and he's heavy as the dickens due to all that die cast in him, meaning he's well balanced too. Being a Headmaster, we can pop off the noggin, and he becomes a little fella. Isn't that great? They're definitely a step up above what you'd expect from a standard Headmaster, which shouldn't be a surprise, but they're just so big and nicely articulated. You can pop the head back on the body, and you open up the chest for Fortress's very impressive stats. Accessories wise, we have quite the selection. First up, we've got this extra faceplate for the Headmaster, so you can go from sullen seriousness to intense shock. Nah, not for me, I don't think. Also, we have the Master Sword, which starts life as this stubby little thing, and then extends out into a very nicely realised sword. I do love that metallic red finish, and we get this base too, which you can use to reenact when Fortress takes the Master Sword and initiates the Fortress Maximus transformation process. And this is daft, yes, but I like it. And Fans Toys liked it enough to include an extra right hand to make the whole affair a little less awkward. Transformation is pretty simple for a third-party toy, I should add. The legs store some of the alt mode guff, so open those up, fold everything out, and then fold the legs in before closing them. Then the chest opens up, you lift and then spin the torso 180 degrees before spinning this visor piece up. And there's a little bit of fiddling with this front piece here. Maybe it's a bit much for my chubby digits, but it's doable. You tab the arms into the back of the head, and then you're really just folding the legs down around the face and tabbing everything together. And that's it. You know, it's the head of Fortress Maximus. Now, whether you think it's cool or not, I don't know, or particularly care, but I really like it. Give his chin a little boop and the eyes light up, and I mean light up, they're very bright. Also, good on Fans Toys for being one of the only third-party companies who insist on the electronics actually working on their toys. The same clean aesthetic remains, and yeah, slap them on the base and there we have it. The majority of the accessories come into play in this mode, so we get another weird, here comes the aeroplane mouth faceplate, which I don't really get, but okay. We also get replacement fins and vents at the front, which both have a little bit more detail to them, but I think they look a bit too busy for what is otherwise a toy that benefits from being very streamlined. We can also fold up the Master Sword again and slot it into the underside of the head if you want to pretend it's combining with the rest of Fortress Maximus's body. And I know it's been a long time in the pipeline, but that body might be a reality someday. I'm not 100% convinced it will, but I do love the overall feel of Hannibal here, enough to at least be interested in what the thing does. And who knows, maybe one day I will have a big 4-foot tall Transformer taking up space in my spare bed. Fans Toys Hannibal is great. And yeah, he does just turn into a huge head, but, you know, well look, shut up, okay? Cheerio.